I lay on the bed tossing and turning, unable to fall asleep. There's no way to sleep anyway, so why not go down and fight again? The table and officer who had chosen the previous incident where the collapse occurred were still the girl who was frightened and cried. This is a gambling table with a chi support of 10,000 and a cap of 1.2 million. The opportunity has come. He Guan, who was frightened and cried, made a beautiful one-on-one path. It is actually not accurate to say that there is a one-on-one path, because he only appeared in 3 arrangements, but in my mind I have long believed that he has a long one-on-one path. So I signaled him to pause, and then pushed 300,000 yuan onto the pile. I silently call out to the same kind of people in my heart. This is to use his energy to defeat the opponent together. He finally opened the 9-point string, pretending to win at 8 points, and the same kind finally exerted its strength. Those 4 sides were clearly the ones he used all his strength to depress, and it was still the same 9 points, but his opponent was unable to recover. We have defeated my kind, and wherever you are now, I have avenged you. This is our shared victory. Now that it is determined that it is a pick, there is no need to hesitate. I added another 100,000 yuan to the 300,000 yuan price. I plan to adopt the old tactic of placing a price of 100,000 per lot until it explodes. This time, it was like a miracle. Starting from the 4th bite, I was given 5 bites in a row, and the last bite was confiscated. A total of 1.8 million was collected in this half game. The 1.3 million that I lost before was not only recovered, but I also won 500,000. I know that this is the credit of the same kind. It is the same kind of person who I don't know where at this time, let alone whose name, helped me in the duel. After the road was broken, I switched to using a small bamboo horse worth 10,000 or 20,000 to try to fight. Once you win, the boss of 300,000 yuan is restored. After a lot of back and forth, after all the rounds were completed, I finally succeeded in winning more than 700,000 yuan. Including the 1.8 million previously raised, the total profit in this game was 2.5 million. Excluding the 1.3 million lost in the first half, the profit was 1.2 million. Li Zitong, the predetermined profit target of 2 million for the Macau Reconquest War was 800,000 to 5.2 million. The large and small chips were packed in my shoulder bag, which gave them obvious weight. I went to the exchange shop, poured all the chips on the counter, counted out 3 million, told the boss to put it back in the card, took the 2 million and put it back in my bag. I want to use these chips to win 800,000, and then return triumphantly to achieve the first stage victory in the battle to regain Macau. After finishing all this work, I walked leisurely throughout the midfield hall with light steps, waiting for opportunities, drinking coffee, stepping on the thick carpet, and it felt great to turn defeat into victory. Looking at the gamblers with various expressions in the hall, a sense of superiority as a winner arises spontaneously. When I met the stunningly beautiful female publicist, I seemed to be in the mood to appreciate and strike up a conversation. Looking back on the past half-month, since I lost a total of 6 million last time, I have been very depressed. This moment may be the happiest I have been in recent days. What could be more satisfying than surviving a desperate situation and turning defeat into victory? Especially gamblers with a mission. After walking around for almost 8 hours, there was no target that could be taken. In fact, it's not that there is no chance at all, maybe it's because I don't want to take risks anymore. Besides, today is the first game of the superior game, so it is very necessary to leave a good start. So I decided to call it a day and go back to my room to rest early to replenish my energy and fight again tomorrow. Maybe it has something to do with winning money. I slept very deeply and soundly last night without any dreams. I slept until dawn. This has been a rare thing in the past half-month. The reason why we were able to turn defeat into victory in the second half last night was inseparable from the mental support from my peers. No matter what, I must take the time to inquire about him today. If he is in the hospital, buy some gifts and visit him to give him some spiritual comfort. If you are really unfortunate and have passed away from this world, then you should buy more paper money and find a secluded place to burn it for him. As a lonely ghost in a foreign country, it would be good for someone to pay homage to him, so that he can have some face in front of the Lord of Hell. Although they are strangers to each other, they are at least of the same kind, and at least they can be considered to have accumulated some negative virtue for themselves. In this world, after all, everyone is a passerby, and that place is our eternal home. Went down to the first floor, had breakfast, and went directly to the bird's nest. I found a public relations manager at the main service desk and asked him to find out the details of the gambler who fell to the ground last night. He told me that the gambler died on the way to the hospital, and his body was sent to a funeral parlor in Zhuhai overnight. I asked, why did it have to be sent to Zhuhai overnight? He said that there are no funeral parlors in Macau, and dead people have to be sent to Zhuhai. My intuition came true, and the poor fellow died like this. You really come in standing up and go out lying down. I originally came to Macau with my dream, but I lost my life here. As long as a person lives, the grass and trees will fall, but to end one's life in this way is really an eternal wonder. I felt desolate in my heart, and a feeling of sadness emerged spontaneously. Perhaps for him, this is a kind of relief. Finally, he no longer has to take pains to detoxify, and he no longer has to worry about the fierce usury and the earnest pleas of his relatives. I walked into the bathroom, put 3 cigarettes on the sink, put my hands together and silently paid homage to him, hoping that there would be no gambling in heaven, and that I would never be a gambler again in my next life. Then he took out a 1,000 Hong Kong dollar bill, burned it and gave it to him. When I walked out of the bathroom, my heart felt particularly fulfilled, as if I had experienced a noble baptism of personality, and my whole body was full of vitality. I believe that the same kind of spirit will continue to bless me to defeat the casino. At this time, the hall gradually became lively, with all kinds of bang dong dong, ding 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 sounds coming and going. I ordered a cup of coffee and walked around while drinking, waiting for an opportunity to make a move. The phone rang. It was my boss. I don't know why he called me. Since we broke up on our first trip to Macau, we have only met once at a dinner party. Because they are in different circles, we usually don't have much contact. Brother. I heard you are also in Macau. In that factory. I'll come find you. I am also in Macau. Ha ha ha. Still loud. It makes my eardrums tremble. I asked puzzledly. How did you know I was in Macau? Who told you? I broke into Macau without telling anyone. Even Xiaoying only knew that I was on a business trip. After doing it, he asked relentlessly. Don't worry about this. Who makes you a celebrity? See you later. Where are you? So I had to say. I'm in the lobby on the first floor of Melco. Come here. I'm waiting for you. He came from Jinsha. At most, it only lasts for 1 pack of cigarettes. There is no way to play in this little free time. So I found a seat at the restaurant in front of the bird's nest and sat down. Boss Jiang saw me from afar. Shouted with raised voice. Brother. We are here. Ha ha ha. I looked up. He quickly greeted him. Behind him were a man and a woman. Female in her 40s. Fair female appearance. Fair female appearance with curly back. With a pair of seductive eyes. The man is 27 or 80 years old and has a strong body and a strong waist. Full of fun. At first glance, he looks like a bastard. Let's sit down on the dining chairs. Boss Jiang introduced this woman. His name is Zhao Li Jianghu. Known as Sister Zhao, she lives in the same city as us. I've heard his name too. But never seen. Sister Zhao started her career by making steel products. Good fortune. I heard that when he was making steel in his early years. So powerful. Hands and eyes reached the sky. With some good looks and excellent communication skills. Varieties and prices that others can't get. He can always do it easily. He also made a lot of money. There is a vice president of a state-owned enterprise. It seems that Intel was arrested. The specific situation is not very clear. But Sister Zhao only stayed there for a few months. Be free again. One has to admire his huge energy. The decline of the market just now. In addition, his backer collapsed. Sister Zhao's business has also plummeted since then. These 2 years. He relies on his connections. Started the Macau code washing business again. Specializes in bringing capable and powerful bosses to Macau for gambling. The little brother next to him is his Ma's eye. Their purpose. I'm very clear. Boss Jiang said with a smile. Sister Zhao. We are old friends. Just take care of it if you can. Sister Zhao lost no time and handed me her hand. Said pretentiously. My brother's name is as loud as a thunder. He is indeed a talented person. I need to take more care of my little sister from now on. After saying that, my brother laughed. Zhao Yi shook his fat hand politely and said. Sister Zhao is from Macau. Please help if there is any inconvenience in the future. I asked Boss Jiang. How did you know I was in Macau? He smiled but didn't answer. Sister Zhao said with a smile. I said it. I have a younger brother at immigration. This is an influential entrepreneur going to Macau. He will keep me informed at any time. In our industry, we also need to keep track of customer information at all times. Is it convenient to provide services? Elder brother. Don't be angry. I mean no harm. After saying that, he put his hand on my thigh intentionally or unintentionally. I already stood up quickly and said, "It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter." I also asked Boss Jiang casually and laughed. Interface channel. Let Sister Zhao treat me to a big dinner. To make amends. Sister Zhao then followed the trend and motioned to the younger brother next to her to collect leaks. This lunch starts a little early. It's just less than 11 o'clock. Everyone is from the same city. So there are quite a lot of common topics. Boss Jiang told me. Ever since you two each lost 5 million in the Western Galaxy. Last week, Lao Wu lost more than 30 million in Zion. Therefore, it is enough for Lao Wu to drink a pot. The property he developed failed to pass quality inspection. So I couldn't get the presale license. 7 to 8 billion funds are all tied up. Banks are still calling for loans. If you don't do it right, the capital chain may break at any time. He's like an ant on a hot pot now. Looking for money everywhere. I said that with Lao Wu's strength. This amount of funds shouldn't be enough, right? Boss Jiang lowered his voice and listened. Don't say you don't know. He is in Macau this year. Nearly 200 million have already been released. No matter how big the boss is, he can't help but tossing things like this. I was shocked. He actually lost so much. Then Dongzi will almost be dragged to death by him. Boss Jiang said. Isn't it? Dongzi now lives in Lao Wu's office every day. It's really terrible. Such a big boss will also encounter cash flow problems. In my mind, President Wu. But the city's leading private entrepreneur. The company is also a star company in the city. Always the best. It seems that this baccarat is really harmful to people. I can't sit still. Compared with President Wu, my strength is more than a little different. Even he is like this. Do I still dare to continue gambling?